Good evening, I'm Asad Ahmed. A BBC London investigation has found that disabled tenants living in high-rise council blocks could be at risk if there's a fire, as they have no way of evacuating the building quickly. The advice for most in the case of an emergency is to stay put, as in many cases it's worked. But since the Grenfell Tower tragedy 2 years ago, evacuation plans have been examined, and an expert has told us that councils across London could be breaking the law if proper plans aren't in place. Caroline Davis has this special report.
Wheeled to safety from the Grenfell Tower fire, this was the moment that one wheelchair-bound resident was rescued. But the fire has raised questions about what plans are in place if stay put doesn't work and people need to get out.
If it happens here, I'm dead, because I knew I couldn't get out.
Alice, not her real name, has multiple sclerosis. She didn't want to be identified. She loves her flat near the top of a tall tower block, but says the council who run it have never spoken to her about how she could get out. She's so worried, she's come up with her own plan.
I got some big burly men who live in the block who might be able to calm me down, and said, if there's a fire, can you help me?
Does it worry you that you haven't got an official plan in place and you're living high up?
Yes, it does. I'm just hoping it never happens.
So how many people might need help? We asked all the councils in London who look after high-rise tower blocks. Those who replied have just over 3,000 vulnerable people living in them. Some of these tenants will be able to get out on their own, but some will not. And in more than 700 tower blocks across London, there's not a single evacuation lift, a type of lift that can be used in an emergency. So if there's no lift, you might need to take the stairs. Right, that's just taken me 1 minute and 42 seconds to run down 10 stories high. Now, I'm relatively young and fit, but imagine if you were elderly or if you had any form of mobility problem or you were running with small children, that could be a lot more difficult. One person who had to escape down the stairs on his own is Maher Kuda. He survived the Grenfell Tower fire using crutches to walk down 9 flights of stairs.
I can't do nothing. I want 2 crutches. You know, it's too hard from 9th floor to get down like this way for anybody. I'm surprised how I make it.
Most councils say they are putting their own plans in place to help vulnerable residents. But have they done enough? We showed the council's answers about disabled evacuation to an expert.
The law is very clear that all relevant persons must be able to evacuate the premises. No caveats. No, but not if you're disabled, or no, not if you live in a high rise. And from looking at these responses, do you suspect that some councils might be breaking the law? I would certainly say yes. I cannot see how you can say the majority of these approaches are actually meeting the law for a disabled person.
Some councils that we spoke to were adamant that they were meeting their legal requirements. We also sent their answers to the group that represents London's councils. They told us,
resident safety is the top priority of London boroughs. It is crucial that Londoners with disabilities are safe and feel safe in their homes. Boroughs are committed to learning from the recommendations of the Grenfell Tower inquiry and will continue to work with residents, the London Fire Brigade and the government in improving evacuation planning and procedures.
While some councils say they have been speaking to their residents that they know need help, Alice says she's still waiting to hear from her council to find out what plan is in place to get her down if the worst does happen. Caroline Davis, BBC London.
3 teenage boys have admitted threatening 2 women who refused to kiss each other.